Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'm so pleased we are live. We are going. This is the Bliss Life podcast for our abundant year, your abundant year. When you're abundant, I'm abundant. Everyone is abundant. The more we tune into the feelings of love and abundance, the more we live from there, think from there, the more we create from there, the more we create that tipping point on the planet where everybody's going to be listening and I'm creating and living their bliss life. So right now I'm burning some white sage if you want to tune into that and just breathe it in, feel it, enjoy it as we get started today with our very fun journey with the topic of if you break your routine, if you stop thinking the same things and reacting the same way and choosing the same things and doing all the same stuff in your comfort zone, or what I call your death zone, will the abundance follow? Pretty important question, because we're all seeking more. What are we seeking more of? Well, that depends on who you are, but in my experience of being a homeopath and a hypnotherapist and a healer for gazillion years is that we all have core similarities in what we're looking for, what we're seeking, and those desires come together for a reason. So why do most people on the planet have fears and challenges around money? Well, because that's what we're all releasing. Or fear around authority, or fear of speaking up and being ridiculed, burned at the stake, beheaded. So those are the key issues in almost everyone's life. For you, it might be that you're building a business, or you want to actually speak or present or teach, but you don't have the self-esteem, or you have a lot of fears that are holding you back. That's how I was, believe it or not. Believe it. If I can speak and feel good about it, you can too, believe me. The next thing is, do you have certain ways that you think about yourself? You might not even be aware of it anymore because it's so familiar. Okay, my headset wasn't on, so let me check in and see. Can you hear me? Were you hearing me before? Okay, so I was talking away, but I realized my headset was not turned on. So let me know if you can, please, here in the comments, or Mr. Chris, just pop over and let me know so I have a sense of where I am. I'm going to say hi, Kelly and Lindy and Nanabelle and Chris. And I can only see part of the screen for some reason when I'm doing this live. So let me just check in. Okay, well, I'm not getting any response, so what I'm going to do is just do a quick recap and continue. So welcome, everyone. Nana Kasha here, and this is the Bliss Life podcast. Our topic today is, if you break your routine, will your abundance follow? Why is everyone looking for abundance? Because we're all on similar paths. That's why we're all here right now on the planet. We all have similar fears. They have different stories. They have different beginnings. They have different players, people. The story is a little bit different, but the energy or the pattern or the fear is similar. And why are all of us on the planet facing our fears, having more and more changes and breakdowns and challenges right now? Because time is sped up, because we've sped up, because we're moving faster, we're ascending or expanding, enlightening. We are raising our frequency, we're waking up. We can talk about stuff now that even 4 or 5 years ago, most people on the planet would look at me and say, oh, like Scooby-Doo, right? And I've been in this for only 30 years. Imagine people who've been in it longer. I remember feeling so alone. There was no internet. There were no bookstores except for a couple specialty ones. And then slowly but surely, different people started to question more and think differently and expand and reach out. And you and I are part of one of the most powerful, amazing, stunning moments in history ever. We are becoming enlightened before our own eyes. We're not waiting for another 200 years or 26,000 years or anything else. It is happening right now, and we're finally 6 years after 2012 seeing it happen. When I first learned a lot of the things that I became an expert at, like homeopathy, there were no software programs or computers. So I'm like this ancient relic that learned to become a homeopath through a whole bunch of books. And if you know anything about homeopathy, it is an overwhelming amount of data that you have to take a lot of information in from your client, and then you have to cross-reference it to narrow down to the one perfect remedy. But it doesn't work the way that Western medicine works. It's an energetic medicine. It's a light medicine. It's a vibrational medicine. And because of that, it doesn't have side effects. It can't interfere with anything else you're taking. And it goes to the core, rather than when Western medicine is all toxic drugs that 99.9% of the drugs in the Western medicine type of thinking are toxic. So just be aware. I'm not saying you can't use them, but you ought to be aware they are. And they're all for symptom relief and not for curing anything. So it's important to use those to relieve your symptoms when you need to, and then find the energetic systems that work for you. We are so blessed because all of these things that I learned back in the dark ages, hypnotherapy, that one's not quite so bad. What's the other one? Radionics. So I went so deep into energy medicine and energy, that learning, I kept going, what's underneath that? Or what's underneath that? And what's underneath that? So, once you learn meditation, and you start reading about that, your thoughts become things and create your reality, but maybe you don't get it. And you start to read about to meditate and do affirmations, or in the olden days, we used to do vision boards, or now you make little movies, or do meditations or guided meditations, or go to YouTube and see the 8 million videos there that you could listen to help you take your brainwave into a peaceful state. We're into yoga and Tai Chi more. All of these things, what are they doing? They have become more important and more interesting to all of us because they raise our frequency or our vibration. So our number one key is to continuously raise our frequency, continuously raise ourselves up the scale of consciousness from shame, guilt, cravings, grief, regret, anger, all of these things up into acceptance and compassion and love and abundance and joy and peace. Now, if you break your routine, so I was going to say habit, and I thought, well, that's true, but you can have a habit that is a program within your mind and your body. You literally have a neural pathway in your brain. You have an electrical wiring of an automatic, like pre-programmed reaction. So when someone says this, we react with that. Push the button as soon as you see that happen. So the right chemicals and electrical signals go out through her body. Then the right thoughts and memories are served up, and the right feelings by the chemicals and hormones we dump into the body all react appropriately to what this person, me or you, inside of you, has decided is true for you. So you decided what was true for you before you could even talk or walk from your family. You brought some of your beliefs with you in your DNA and your cells. And some of the things that you know have been created and uncreated and deconstructed and recreated over the span of this lifetime. But guess what? You're multidimensional. And you have so much more access to so much more information, so much more help, so much more guidance, so many more skills. But you are now, when you first come onto the planet, you need some help figuring out how to drive the car you're in, how to move your body, how to talk, how to feed yourself. You have to have somebody else take care of you, and they have to teach you the basics. And we choose our families, believe it or not. It took me a long time before I was willing to believe this. We choose them. We decide. Sometimes it's upsetting and sometimes it's delightful, but it's true because we know from our higher self, from our higher perspective, from that ascended part of us, the part of us that is everything and is all-knowing and clairsentient and abundant, and it just doesn't even worry about it. You just are, because you're God or source or whatever. That's your nature, of course, but you chose to come here because it's different. Here you want to play in form. And here, your brain literally gets programmed with other people's fears and beliefs and collective conscious fears and beliefs and things that tell you this is what you're supposed to do to be a good person. Work really hard, pay your bills on time, never embarrass your parents, don't do anything weird, just find what you're going to do and don't change it. Okay, those were some of the things I was told. You have your own upbringing. That's why we're all completely unique. But regardless of where it came from, I don't care if you're like, I love my mom and dad, they're the greatest people in the world, oh my God. It doesn't mean you have to live their life or you live your life for them. Free them. Let them go from being responsible for your life and making choices and giving you the way to think about it. That was their job in the beginning. Just like you moved out and you started your life, figure out who the hell you are. Let your parents go. Free them. Say, thank you so much. But I'm not going to spend the rest of my life going around and around inside of me about what do you think and do you approve of me and you shouldn't have said that and why did you do that and you were fabulous and why don't you love me and did you approve of this and when are you going to say you're sorry? Oh, for heaven's sakes, do you see how heavily burdened we are with this idea that everybody has to like us or approve of us or say they're sorry or understand us or agree with what we want to do, or we have to get them to some sort of agreement with us before we're willing to step out of the way we have been and change or embrace our abundance or be who we're truly designed to be. I'm sorry, your family that's not their job. So if you freed everybody in your entire life and everybody you're ever going to meet from giving a shit what they actually think about you, the freedom you would have, the energy you would have, and the energy they would have, and what a clear and beautiful relationship you could imagine and then create and then live. And once you're living that, imagine what you could create from that place. Step by step, step by step. Break your routine of how you think, what you think of yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about other people, what you've decided in the past. Let it all go. Don't figure it out in your head. Don't need to figure it out in your head. Don't wait for the money or the time or the person or the support or the help to appear before you decide to go do something for you. Abundance isn't going to knock down the walls that you've put up to it and the fears and the belief in lack and the bad thought patterns and the immature emotional things and the inability to face your immense spiritual power and magnificence just because you're afraid of somebody not liking you or disapproving you, of ridiculing you, or yes, burning you at the stake. We've all got those beliefs. They come up in my hypnosis sessions, in my healing sessions, in my shamanic sessions, in the retreats. It's just never ending. When I first discovered past lives, I couldn't believe it was true. And when I finally got through a lot of my fears and my beliefs I was raised with, and I was able to embrace it because I had the scientific perspective and some other experiences, I began to have experiences, personal experiences in hypnosis sessions that is an experience. So it changes your beliefs, it changes your chemistry, it changes everything. Epigenetics, like Bruce Lipton says, down to the core of your cells. When you change what you believe, which is a choice, even though it feels really, really hard to change the belief or find the belief, just go to the energy. So right now, begin to think, what are the things I think? What are the things I feel? What are the triggers and reactions I have to other people? Where are the places I hesitate or hold back or I have lack of clarity or lack of energy? And don't judge yourself about it. Just jot them down. And tell me right now in your heart, I am ready and willing. I am open and receptive. I am here now, a clear and open channel to my highest good. And I am an excellent, excellent, excellent receiver. And so it is. Enter, please, the Bliss Life Crystal Temple. Let's go on a journey. So as an energy worker, this picture is of me at my Epic Equinox event on the top of Koba Mayan Pyramid at dawn, where we go without anyone else there but us when the sun comes up and do an amazing activation. If you want to break your routine, I can tell you right now, even Joe Dispenza, if you like him, I adore him. He speaks the same language I do. We talk about the same things. He puts a lot more science in it than I do, and I put a lot more mystery talk, which he's coming to, so we're sort of blending towards each other. I love the science. I love the practicality of application. It's just why what we do on these retreats is the best way to break your routine. So do you want to change your life? Are you sick of fighting with your weight, or fighting with your self-esteem, or fighting with your income, going up and down and putting a plan in place? I'll tell you, I'll be transparent. I think it was October. I came out of my retreat. I'm always a completely new person. Everybody who comes to them and repeats them says, oh my God, I just literally leave that 1 week and I am not the same person. And so I don't plan anything about a month prior for after the retreat, because I'm going to be a new person. So I need to see who I am then, and what opportunities appear to me, and what I've let go of, and what's easy for me now, and what I'm able to access, and what guidance I received. And so it's really fun, because twice a year at the equinoxes, we go to the pyramids and we heal with the dolphins and we do the sacred ceremonies, and you get out of your life, and most likely out of your country and out of your comfort zone for sure. And you allow the dolphins to realign your vibration, and you let the sacred waters, whether they're pure underground waters of the cenote or the ocean, the beautiful Caribbean, to purify you, to remind you of who you are. You let the ceremonies and activations and light body healings we do here at the house overlooking the ocean, or in the pyramids, or other sacred sites, or with some Mayan shamans. We have a combination of different ways for you to experience a new you, to leave yourself, to leave your body, to leave behind the routine, the programs. We have to break the mold. It doesn't mean bad things are going to happen. It does mean things will change. If you truly want change, if you truly want more, which is abundance, right? Abundance means a lot. So do you want more pain, more misery, more lack of self-worth, more challenge with money, more repeating the same shitty relationship, more getting up every day being half inspired because you're like, oh, it's just going to be another boring ass day and nothing will change, or more feeling like it doesn't go fast enough? That's been my challenge for years. Life doesn't go fast enough. Change doesn't happen fast enough. Well, then what am I doing? I'm projecting again. It's not fast enough. So go slow. Now, you know all the stuff you've heard. You've heard about change your mindset and think positive and do meditations. So yes, absolutely. However, when you're home and you're alone and you're sometimes don't have a family, friends, or even anybody in your town, much less your family, that even gets what you're trying to do, because they're not waking up yet, or they're not at the awakening point that you are. Everyone is awakening right now. It's happening. We're watching it. We're watching the systems fall apart. We're watching the government fall apart. Why? Why are people suddenly speaking up and saying, this isn't the way to treat women or Black people or children or animals or the ocean or the planet or ourselves? Because we're all waking up. Hallelujah, right? So we got to be so excited that we right now are on, not even on the cusp, we're in the middle of the tidal wave. We don't know what's going to happen. You got to unplug from your sorrow. You have to leave behind your grief. You have to let go of your regrets. You have to heal all those things. What does that mean? Acceptance, 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 baby. And what is that? Jump in the river, let go of holding on, become. Deconstruction and change has to happen. If you want more of anything, nothing can stay the same. Even if it's I change the time I get up or the way I drive to work because I got a better job and a bigger raise, and that could be the only change, but something's changing. It could be that relationships have to change or end, or where you live has to end, or how you leave clutter in your house has to end, or how you set aside time for yourself has to end, or the constant mother, father, whoever, ex in your head telling you aren't good enough. Who the hell do you think you are? You don't get to not be in the misery. You're getting kind of big for your britches. Who do you think you are to get your cake and eat it too and have all your abundance? Heavens and Betsy, everybody suffers. That's just life. Get over it. Give up, suck, suck, suck. Look at lack, look at lack, look at lack, look at lack. Do you hear it? It's all around you. Stop listening. Stop believing anything you hear or listen to, even from people you love. Even from me. Question everything I say. If it inspires you, if it awakens you, if it pisses you off, good. If it's just like, yeah, whatever, go find something else to listen to. Find the frequencies that will align you with where you want to go, what you want to become, even if you don't know what the hell that is. Do you know the qualities that you want? I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what job I want. I don't know where I want to live. I don't know what kind of people I want to be in. I just know that I don't want what I have. Okay, perfect. Start with this. What do I think all the time that drags me down? What do I watch news-wise or on Facebook, or do I have a news feed? Could I go 30 days without listening to the news or getting on social media? Could you break the habit of asking other people their opinion of your shit? I believe in gathering data that is relevant, but I used to ask a lot of people their opinion before I made my decision. And I don't consider myself kind of a wimpy, weak person. But I tell you what, the habit I did have was needing approval, wanting to be good enough. And so by telling people, hey, can I, share this with you? I wanted to ask you. I really thought I was being smart because it was what I was told to do when I was growing up, is, get the opinions of others and then wait, slow down, don't be too fast, don't be spontaneous, don't make decisions too quickly. And that doesn't suit my personality. Now, I have developed wisdom through many, many painful experiences and much life, right? And many, many joyful experiences too, right? Just like you. And I understand that now. I always give myself time and peace to let the wave of emotion or reaction or the old thoughts move through me for about 24 hours. Then I sit down and respond to the email or the thought or make the decision or whatever. Don't give yourself this rush. There is no rush, okay? No matter what it is, there's no rush. If you don't feel aligned and you're foggy, then wait. Break the routine of letting other people push you or being afraid of not sharing what you do or what you want. Break the routine of not being able to talk about money or ask for money in a comfortable way. So will the abundance follow? Yes. And this year is abundant, and abundance means a lot, but you want to make sure that you're directing the allotness, the energy of abundance, into the things you want more of, and not the things you don't want more of. They'll both be perfect if it's what you experience. It'll just tell you, oh, I'm holding on to more of those routines, those beliefs, those habits, those thoughts that are not serving the flow to abundance. All right, let's go. Still can't hear. Yes, it is Nanny Bell. Okay, why are you not seeing anything? That's just weird. Because, there it is. Okay. It wasn't showing up there, was it? Huh. All right, give me a second. Oh, we're on the wrong one. Oh, that makes a difference, doesn't it? Okay, here we go. So yes, giving yourself space to think for yourself lets you hear the beliefs and patterns that are going on inside of you, making all the decisions. And if you don't feel happily aligned or are in the process of going there, if you're in light body school or something like that, then you know that it's time for you to find them. And you don't ever look at things that pop up as, oh my God, I can't believe I'm still trying to heal that. I worked on that for so long. Well, maybe it's time to stop working, right? Just stop it. So I declared before the end of last year that 2019 was going to be your abundant year. And on the Bliss podcast, that is going to be our theme all year. And so today, if you break your routine, will the abundance follow? Also known as, if you free your mind, the wealth will follow, which was a quote that I made up many years ago when I was teaching based on that wonderful song by those lovely ladies that I can't remember the name. And so Whoa. Hey, what's going on? So I want you to think about right now, because when you get together with me, this is an experience, okay? You're already having an experience. When I say that you walk into a light structure, you did. When I say to declare that I am open and receptive and I'm present, you are giving a command to yourself, to your mind, to your emotions, to all of you, to what we call your light body. And that actually does work, okay? The more you work on your belief in it and you're mastering your energy, understanding your light body, then the more you are able to have a very profound, quick, and strong impact on yourself. But you've got to say it, okay? So I want you to ask yourself right now, how will I actually live a new life this year? It's February, it just was Chinese New Year, and this is New Year's to me. Not because I'm Chinese, but because I see a lot of people, clients and students and myself, rarely start their new year fully aligned and aware on January 1st or even January 10th, and sometimes barely even January 28th. Why? Because it's like a birth canal. And there's a lot of distraction, which is really good and wonderful. Partying and celebrating and putting yourself out of your comfort zone by getting together with family through the holidays. And then the new year is a celebration, whether or not you see it as a spiritual or personal celebration, and you go do some kind of a ceremony, or you write out what your New Year's, or you set your New Year's goals, or you just go to a party with your friends or family, whatever it is. It's a initiation. It's a portal. And so what I feel is that it's a birth canal, and it takes a little while to get through it. A lot of people and clients I know, they go through some physical changes and sicknesses, or neck goes out, or they get the flu or whatever. And there's a cleansing that happens. Sometimes there's a breakdown of what they were expecting. And this is also needed before you truly dial into the energy of what this next year is. Now, you have a year from your birthday to birthday, and you have a calendar year that we share as a culture out on the earth that's mostly in common. And what's cool is that if you really understand that you want something new, you want more, you want something different, and you're ready to really make it happen, not just get the theory, not to get ready, but you're going to break your routine, your thoughts, your habits, and what you do so you can awaken to your abundance. Well, I want you to think about right now and write down 3 ways you are going to actually live a new life this year. How will you break your routine? So I'm proposing that soul travel is one of the things. I would say you come and get that deep transformation and spiritual adventure at the Epic Equinox, Mayan, Pyramid, Magic, and Dolphin Healing Retreats, BlissLifeRetreats.com. Or you could come in July to the Crystal Vortex Retreat in the crystal quartz capital of the world, huge crystal vortex, intense energies, beautiful lakes, beautiful nature. And we go there to amplify our abundance, free ourselves from past patterns, and learn light body healing in the crystal vortex. You go to lightbodyschool.com/crystal lake for that. And these are both ways to get out of your life. Do you see what I mean? This. Now, you could come to one of these. You could pick something else. You could do your own retreat. Just do me a favor and pick, if possible, at the epic power times like the equinox or the solstices or full moons or new moons or other cosmic events, is give yourself hours or days to yourself or in a sacred place out of your routine. Put your cell phone away, put your computer away, tell everybody you're gone for 4 days. In 4 days, you can create profound change. And so these retreats are 4 or 5 days, and we're going to have 7-day ones, 6 days, I think we're up to in the Bliss Life Retreats, whatever. And what I want you to do is understand that when you break your routine, by one, leaving your town, leaving your house, sleeping somewhere else, being around people you've never met, going to another country, that alone will start the transformation. All kinds of shit will come up. And so the transformation begins when you decide to do something like this, right? Another way to break your routine. Now remember, you're writing down 3 ways this year that you're going to agree to find. You don't know, you need to know the specifics. You could say, I'm going to take 1 soul travel trip this year. Okay, that could be it. You don't have to decide. Is it the Bliss Life tree with the dolphins? Is it the crystal one? Is it something else I know about? Is it going to my local, campsite? What is it? Just put that you're going to do one, and then pick some other things. Now, another thing you could do is experience a private healing experience designed just for you. You could fly down here to where I live on the beach, and I have different light technology machines that activate your pineal and give you visions or heal your body with magnetics and infrared or nasal light therapy. I have access to healers here, from shamanic healers in sacred places, and even dolphins, all the way to people with very advanced light technology machines and diagnosis machines that are non-invasive, incredible physical therapists, spas, and all kinds of things. So I designed the whole thing for you. And again, we talk and you tell me, this is what I want. I need to heal from this. I need to get clarity on that. I don't like these old patterns. And then I design the hypnosis and shamanic sessions, the crystal healings, and put the other things around and in that to mind, body, and spirit break your routine. So maybe one of the 3 things you're going to do this year is to go to a spa or do something like that. Have an experience where it's mind, body, and spirit very intensely. To be honest, all of these are, because we're healing our bodies and we're climbing pyramids and we're going in waters. But, maybe for you, you just say once a month or 3 times this year or something, I'm going to have a spa day, or I'm going to go down by the river, whatever it is. Okay. So other things you can do to break your routine, and we're going to explore that now. So this is where we're going for the Bliss Life Retreat in March, coming up really soon, and I really want you there. This pyramid is the first pyramid outside of Egypt, the Great Pyramid in Egypt, which I've been to a couple times with retreats, and that has palpably that magnetic energy. So my friend flew their drone over the top, and the energy beam that comes out the top of pyramids, that's in varying degrees of strength now, because these were built so long ago, but they're power generators, pyramids are, which is why we want to go near them, we want to climb them, we want to touch them, we want to be around them, we want to be on top of them. Is it shut the drone down. So if you go to the website, blissliferetreats.com, you'll see a picture or maybe a video, I'm not sure, from that drone shot from above. It was quite stunning. This site is covered with carvings, magical inscriptions and carvings that will awaken in you your abundance, your remembrance of who you are. It makes it so easy for beliefs and fears and patterns to end, to cleanse, and to be renewed or reborn when you go to these kinds of places, because this is a power vortex of the pyramid, and it's called the Pyramid of the Magician or the Seer or the Foreteller, which means we're going to be awakening your third eye more and your crown chakra, because those two have to work together for your abundance to flow. Your crown chakra literally is very important for your abundance, like a crown would be. If you crowned yourself the king or queen, finally, of creating your reality, break your routine. Other sacred sites in the Maya land we're going to go to all have different energies. This place is enormous. We're going to be there at night when there's a night show. It's just the opportunity, the energies. What I see is people come to these places. If you are at all called, there's a way to come. And when we find that and you are here, you remember things. You have different switches in your DNA that are flipped on, and key codes of what you need to know for your purpose. You also bring energies to these sites. So if you want to break the routine, remember, go to some place that really turns you on. Okay, go to a mountain or a stream or a river or an overlook or a park or a forest or your backyard or your meditation room. Go somewhere. I used to live in northern San Diego, and my favorite place to go was the Encinitas Meditation Gardens at the Self-Realization Foundation. It was small, looked over the ocean, it was beautiful, it was sacred, the energies there were pure and amazing. The minute you stepped in, it was like you stepped into a different world. And I had a routine of I turned on a 1 hour long chakra chanting song thing with my headphones. The minute I stepped into the property, Paramahansa Yogananda was a leader there, and I was initiated into Kriya Yoga many, many, many years ago. And so I feel a very closeness to him. He's not in a body anymore, or dead, you might call it. But I began to see him there. His spirit body would be there looking out over the ocean. Then after a while, I began to ask him some questions. I asked him to come sit with me, and I asked him to go to my ayahuasca ceremonies with me because I was scared at first. And so the magic that lives inside of places that are outside of your norm and places in nature, places that are sacred. There might be a church, especially the old, epically beautiful ones, right? That feels beautiful to you. I'm not a church person. However, I like to visit them in Europe and everything. And here up the street, there is an enormous, beautiful church with huge arches, and the breeze flows through it. It's dedicated to Mary. And so the energy feels delicious to me, and I occasionally go up there and meditate. I just walk in the afternoon when no one's there, and I sit, and there's this huge mosaic of Mary, who to me is the embodiment of female energy, of divine feminine. She was able to survive all the years of the witch hunts and the women abuse and the patriarchy and the erasing of all things female, that she's one of the few female presences that continued on and even became the favorite. If you travel, you'll see more Marys or Guadalupes or Madonnas all over on country roads and in big churches and cities than anywhere else. So remember that breaking your routine doesn't have to be a hard, lonely thing. Aligning with a lot more means finding the places you're clogged, you're blocked, you're afraid, you're agreed to the past, right? So when you go somewhere new, this is Kaaba. This is a place we're going in March. It's steeped in magic. I've never had the experience I had here the first time I went. This was it. The magic was there. The angels were there. The light orbs were there. There were bees everywhere vibrating, and we began to levitate. We all had these easy golden meditations where we were floating in gold energy. And the glyphs on the altar where Michelle is sitting here, combined with the masks on that wall. It's called the Wall of Masks, and it's in the Yucatan. And it has much more to the site, but this is just one part of it, is the god Chak, which is the rain god, and which is the god of abundance, right? Raining down upon you. And so when you tune into these things, you step out of your life, you open your heart through the ceremonies, you're breaking the routine. And yes, you're in a new place and there's different food and you're sleeping in a different place. And so there's all that discomfort that is so good for you to break your routine and your habits. So remember, anytime you have to leave your house and go somewhere new and do something different, enjoy and appreciate it, because it's kind of a alchemical transformation. It's an opportunity for you to not do the same thing, not think the same way, not talk to the same people, right? And you can choose who you are. You ever gone into a new group of people or to a new school when you were growing up and you got to recreate yourself, right? So at the Bliss Life Retreat in March, we're going to do something called the Equinox Abundance Alchemy Activations throughout the whole thing, pretty much almost every day, except the Dolphin Day, which isn't true. We're going to do one there too. So every day. And I want you to understand that this and the other kinds of things that you could think of to change your patterns is a journey of remembering, but not remembering your past and remembering your pain and remembering your failures and remembering things that, oh, look out, don't do that because last time you failed or whatever it is. It's remembering your divine nature and filling yourself up with it so much that all the thoughts about, oh, I'm not this and that happened and blah, 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 just float out. Your ability to manifest, okay, and to create your life consciously on purpose, to create something new, to change something, right? How often do you know someone, maybe yourself, that lost weight and actually kept it off? Like for 10, 20 years, right? It's rare, right? I've done it for years and then it's creeped back, you know? So we know that when we create from force, or we create from mind, or we create from just working harder, or something like that, we're avoiding the truth, which is our fear of our divine power. And so alchemy means transmutation, like a metamorphosis, right? Like a butterfly, a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Or there was a really cool example I heard of recently. I forget what it is right now. Something else turned into something else, and it was stunning. You're meant to metamorphosize. You're not meant to stay the same. You're not meant to stay attached to the same people or patterns or thoughts or culture or anything else, unless it absolutely is what builds you up. But you choose. So in ancient times, it was the thought that you could turn lead into gold, which really meant you turn the crap, what you perceive as crap, your low frequency energies, beliefs, and thoughts, the routine we want to break so that you can open yourself to abundance, is your ability to manifest and create and work with the elementals and the unseen realms is what's going to be the difference. To work with your thoughts and your feelings, with your multidimensional nature, to accept that you can step out of your fears and out of your story and out of all of the filters and fog and block and whatever you feel is in the way to what you want. And you can step in to working from a higher perspective. And that's what you get when you go on these kinds of retreats, is the experience changes everything. The experience is inside of the experience changes the core things. And the container of the experience, the places, the soul family, the delicious foods, the different beautiful items that way, is helping you to awaken to a higher level and know that you can have more, know that you deserve more, see clearly where to go. Because in order to take this awakening to the highest level, we're journeying to the magical sites, right? Not staying in your house. So you're staying in your house and doing this work, A-okay, do it every day. But then give yourself a break in the pattern. Get out, meditate on the beach, walk, meditate, lay down and meditate, do something different, right? So we go to gather the ancient wisdom, to allow the energies and the ancient powers to heal us, to realign us, to awaken us, and to help heal the planet, to release the wisdom for everyone. We want the power and the key codes, and once we take them on and break our patterns, that goes out throughout the whole world. And you've now made a difference in changing everybody's life, whether they're aware of it or not. This will help you remember who you are, who you were, who you are, and what you're here to be. And when you do that again, you send out permission energetically or by example or by actually sharing or teaching or telling this story of your transformation, of your alchemy into who you are here to be. We all want it. We all know it's calling us in some way or another. And no matter how buried deep underneath the fear or lack of clarity or energy or not knowing how on earth you could change your life or where on earth the money could come from or how, who would watch your kids or anything else, you just start where you are right now. This is our cacao ceremony in a sacred temple built on sacred geometry and the chakras. There's the tree of life there. And this is an opening and purifying of your heart. And this is what we do the very first morning before we journey into the Yucatan, taking our purified and opened hearts. So imagine how your mind and your beliefs and feelings will change when you open and purify your heart in a sacred ceremony, and right away you connect with your soul family. These are small group retreats. We do have a limit to how many people we can take because we go to sacred places and we have to get permission often for different places, especially the pyramids and things like that, and they won't allow large groups. Break your routine. Let's think about that some more. So here's another example from the Bliss Life Retreat in March. This is what they call the dual-headed jaguar. But as you can see clearly from the carving, it is two jaguars back to back, and their tails have intertwined into a DNA type spiral or antenna that goes straight up between them. This site has more magical carvings than I've seen anywhere. There's carvings literally of the aliens who came down to help build the place. That was a guy who's been hanging around there for 27 years, told us he knows it inside and out. He's a little, wasn't little, he was actually tall for a Mayan man. And there's a 3D carved altar of this as well there. We will be working with that energy because abundance, if you're going to have an abundance awakening, you're going to have to blend both sides of you, the dark and the light, the part you love and approve of and the part that you don't. Your masculine and your feminine qualities or abilities to think from your left brain or your right brain, to be more creative and intuitive or more logical and action taking. You're going to have to embrace your dual nature and spiral together up to the life you're here to live. What does that mean? You have to meet you. And when you awaken your crown chakra through the inner seer, meaning your inner vision will be elevated, opened, and your crown chakra awakened, I think you're going to break your routine, okay? But when you think from this blended perspective, everything is possible because you realize you have everything you need to manifest. So I want you to look at what you've written down as your goals, and I want you to ask yourself right now, what would support me in manifesting? What would be something that I could connect to? Could it be giving myself 30 minutes every day to do a routine, to change my beliefs and focus myself on my vision? Could it be having a visualization buddy? Could it be joining a group or, agreeing to watch a meditation every morning on YouTube? Or could it be what? To me, being outside, being in nature and having time alone to ponder, to think, to connect, to meditate is the most precious thing. I don't know how I could live without it. So take a moment to think about that and just look at this energy here. Imagine feeling like you were back to back, your spine and this other half of you, your spines are fused, they're blended, they're working together. The spirit you and the physical you, the emotional you and the mental you, the ambitious you, the action-taking you, and the nurturing, loving you. Feel how strong and stable it feels to be back to back with the greatest support, blended together, stronger, better together, and feel your light antenna. Now the energy can really flow. It's much easier to break your routine if you're receiving your life force energy from both your Ida and Pingala, both your nadis, both of your energy flows, above and below, within and without, male, female, yin yang, and so on. All right, good. This is the Pyramid of the Magician, one side of it. It is enormous. And awakening the inner seer, being the theme of this retreat, is the purpose is to break you out of your routine, like I said. Now, the energy of just being here in this sacred spot is different for everyone. Everyone will have an awakening. We'll be around it and near it, not on top of it. There's another pyramid we will be on top of with tons of magical carvings and so many other things. It's stunning. And when we come at night, we will see if we're able to spend a little time with it. Here's the thing. When you stand here, you realize that first door is the third eye portal. And when you look at the very top, which on the other side you can see the doorway to the top temple, you realize it's the crown chakra energy. So right now you can breathe this pyramid into you, aligning that first door you see with your third eye and your forehead and the temple above to your crown. And embodying this energy, as we will be doing in March, means that you are accessing not just the power that this pyramid was specifically built for, the amplification, the clarity, the sacredness of Kukulkan, who's the feathered serpent, who is the pathway to enlightenment, which is back to your feathered crown. So feathered headdresses were the acknowledgement of the awakening of your crown chakra, of your connection back to spirit, your ability to fly. Feathers always represent spirit, higher self. And the awakening within you will be completely different than anyone else there, and yet there'll be a similarity. We almost always find that everyone who comes has a past life together, and these groups become very, very close. That's another way of breaking your routine on a continuous basis and giving yourself a support mechanism to truly change your beliefs and thoughts, and therefore your life and your income and so on, is to be in a group of people you become close to that you have encouragement, support, and inspiration from outside of your life, right? Really outside of your life. Going with nature, especially animals, can be some of the most healing experiences. So if you have a particular animal, maybe it's horses, maybe it's dolphins, maybe it's cats, maybe it's, I don't know what, llamas, design this into your life to be a way to break your routine. Start going to pet your cat before you go back into your home to see your family after a day at work. Right? Take time. I saw this video today of a baby, and I mean pretty tiny baby, like just lay there baby. I mean, not newborn, probably a month old, and a cat, and they were hugging, they were laying face to face on their sides, and they had their arms all around each other, and the cat sort of had its head bowed and its ear next to the baby's face, and the baby was talking. I didn't listen to the audio, but the baby just kept talking. It was like, and then this, and then that, and you know what, this, and I love you, and this, is that true? And I don't know what to think about this body. I can't, whatever. Like, it was fascinating to watch. It was just having this conversation nonstop with this beautiful cat. Animals are conscious beings from source too. They have bodies that have qualities we can't. They hear things or see things or could do things we couldn't see. Cats can see in the dark and so on. And yet they have limitations in other things that they can do, right? They don't have our hands, so they can't go build a house. What we want to do is break our routine by getting around people who aren't like us, who live a different life, maybe a different culture, maybe a different money status, somebody in a higher income brackets, go see how they live, or a lower one, or a different country, or going into this. And so at the Bliss Life retreats, we spend an entire day with these beautiful dolphins. We have special access to do healing, hear Pippa's feeling the heartbeat, and we give hugs and kisses, and we play and ride them, and we get to free play, nobody telling them what to do. This is all because they really love it and they want to, and we get to communicate with them with new forms of communication, and we get to heal and meditate. It's amazing. And because they have the ability to do the ultrasound and the sonar, they scan your body and they begin to recalibrate it. So you don't have a choice but to get brain bliss, to be thrilled out of your mind, to have the most joyful day of your life, even if you're afraid of water, which one lady was last time. And she still came and she was still able to do it. It was amazing. And but you will not only have passed a day in pure bliss, which when you think about creating your reality or getting in the flow of abundance, what is it all about? It's stop being you. Stop being an emotional roller coaster. Stop being in fear. Stop being in hesitation. You want to keep your vibration as high as possible for as long as possible. So imagine for like 8 hours during this day, you have your frequency kept for you so high. All the opportunity for you to raise your vibration, flip switches, to keep your abundance flow open, and to create deeper change. So when you meditate for 5, 10, 30, 20, 25, 60 minutes or whatever, you are hopefully outside of your normal frequency, and it's wonderful. Imagine 8 hours of doing that. When you swim in the ocean by yourself, just looking at the turquoise sea and tuning into the dolphins in the water, looking at the clouds, unless your mind is trying to figure out what's next or who did what to who or making a plan for work tomorrow or thinking about what you're missing, if you're fully present, it's a meditation. It's a moment out of time. You've broken your routine. Okay, so hopefully you're getting inspired with all kinds of ideas on how you can break your routine and your habit. So again, on this retreat and on all the Bliss Life retreats, we experience unparalleled access to ancient Mayan pyramids and sacred temples and natural power spots and all kinds of amazing things. This is the temple, the Pyramid of the Magician at the night show. So here you can see the crown chakra door above and the third eye chakra crown right there. A lot of the carvings on here and so on. They light them up. It's exquisite, and we're under the stars. It's just, we're going to go 2 nights. It's phenomenal. So I want you to look at this picture and write down exactly what comes up for you the second that you see it. And I want you to be honest, like, oh God, that's tacky, or oh wow, that looks fun. I could just feel it falling down over me, or an anger or some kind of thing. This is going to show you one of your top blocks to money. So recently did some classes in the Light Body School, and one was for the whole Light Body School, and it was about breaking your patterns around money, your beliefs. And the other one was about clearing the fears and blocks around money, wealth, and worthiness in your chakras. And I shared some of these photos of money, and we discussed the reaction people had to it and how that's a window into the things that might be blocking you or the things that you might strengthen because you feel like, ooh, that looks like fun. Or if you feel like, oh yeah, what a bunch of bullshit. There's no money anywhere, right? So, hello, in case you hadn't met me before, I'm your fairy godmother, Nana Kasha, a master level hypnotherapist, a doctor of homeopathy, master of many mystery schools, and a healer. And I'm so happy to get to share with you these things that I've went out to seek for myself. This wasn't what I thought I should teach. It was what I realized after my first business had to close and my entire life structure and beliefs deconstructed around me because I didn't know people didn't pay their bills. I didn't know you could fail if you worked hard. I thought I'd done everything right and it didn't work out the way that it should. Well, this was many years ago in my 20s, so